Hi, this is Maura with my 2013 Lasso Design proposal. Ideally, I'd like you to take notes during this presentation about what you like and don't like, and where you agree and disagree. Please try to be specific in your feedback if you don't like something, and feel free to share additional suggestions and ideas with me. If you have any questions, please let me know. In 2012, we did a marketing survey requesting feedback from Lasso readers. A majority segment revealed the following. 1. Readers want to see more local news on the front page. Besides giving readers what they want, local news helps ease the dullness of a slow news week, connects students, many of whom are new to Denton, with their community, and gives the Lasso relevance to non-students if we choose to distribute off campus. This increases our appeal to advertisers. 2. Students also want crosswords, games, and comics. We could offer non-staffers the opportunity to submit comics for by the comic pay like we do for photos. This could increase the variety of comics offered and make it more like a real comics page. This proposal contains a 1/2 page for comics and games, with the bottom half reserved for advertisers or classifieds. A smaller majority said they'd like to see more coverage of national stories and issues, and a strong majority said they would like our advertising to feature clothing stores, restaurants, and local entertainment venues. Challenges. According to the survey, a majority of students pick up the paper only once a month. This compromises our ability to offer advertisers the value that they are paying for. The 18 to 34 demographic spends $1 trillion annually and is highly sought by advertisers if we can guarantee our readership. We should continue to look for feedback, researching our audience and submitting regular surveys to them so that we can provide them with the value that they most want, not what we want, and therefore can provide value for the advertisers that keep us afloat. We must aim for ambitious content and visual design to increase our shelf appeal. We should also consider expanding our readership beyond the TWU campus as UNT has done. First, let's look at some inspiration for our new design. These front pages generate instant reader interest. They simplify, featuring 1 to 2 stories, which leaves more room for the photos and captions that most interest readers, as well as white space, which helps divide and organize information. Note, photos feature clear objects of interest. Photos of busy crowds show an event was crowded, but not what attracted the crowd. Lead with close-ups of facial expressions, reactions, or 1 to 3 people doing something interesting or unusual. If we want bold front pages, it's also important to consider what stories really deserve to be front page news. If you're going to feature something, do it clearly and boldly without ambiguity. If a story involves campus politics or war or something like that, we need to be able to expose its significance to individual students immediately. What does this mean for them personally? Why should they care? Infographics should help with this. If a story can't be examined from an angle that generates an answer to the question, why should I care? It's not front page news. Never waste a good action shot. Remember, our first goal is to get people to pick up the paper. Walls of text don't do that, but an engaging photo with a short, clever headline will. Photographers should consider side lighting, which adds drama, getting close to the action, or shooting from an unusual vantage point. Shots from below will make everything seem more monumental and add drama to a scene. On infographics like the one on the right, people don't so much read a newspaper as scan it. It is a medium meant to pass the time, particularly at a university where it's read between classes or at lunch. People want quick, easily digestible information. Infographics help readers achieve this goal while providing visual appeal. The university back page on the left is a special section that is visually treated as a second front page. For most readers, the back page is the second, occasionally even the first page they check. The sample games and guides page on the right contains a calendar for the university as a whole, plus local events and a game section. It's a bit blocky and busy, but what I like about it is the single calendar for all events. A half-page block like this could make a traditionally underread page a destination. Now, what's great about this is the information design. Note the dramatic visual separation of the schedule. This is vital information that the reader needs to see first, not last. Note the box containing a brief summary, analysis, or other information. Readers don't read papers in a linear way. It's boring for them. It's much more natural and common for readers to jump around. Providing bite-sized snippets of information satisfies this desire. This is why this strategy is employed in almost every major publication you'll come across. On the left, you'll see another example of how vital information should be isolated and emphasized for at-a-glance digestion. At top right, you'll see that important information is simplified with bullets, isolated, and emphasized. The information here is presented in a call to action format that's more engaging and invites interaction. We want to increase statements that begin with calls to action, like share, visit, mate, go, talk, join. On the bottom right, notice that the online call to action is placed near the beginning of the article, where it's most likely to be noticed. Online calls to action are ideally specific and relevant, such as read full interview transcript at www.thelasso.com, or what do you think? Take the survey online. Online content should be planned ahead of time with the story to be complementary but different. Don't give everything away in print. The website will need to offer unique perspectives and exclusive editions to provide value and drive traffic. Perhaps a writer gives a brief analysis or opinion piece on a non-opinion news event that they've already written on and know about. They can do it at the same time, even in video format. Or maybe the photographer links to a full album of images online. For opinions, in-depth feature articles, and guest contributors, a detailed photo byline personalizes and credits authors. Small infographics can accompany stories, offering at-a-glance overviews and analysis. Offering this frequently, planning in advance with story assignment makes digesting all the week's important news between classes feasible. Note how this infographic uses a rhetorical question to engage readers personally with the content. For best results on infographics, or any graphic for that matter, try pairing writers and designers at the time of assignment with the clear expectation that they will communicate and work together on ideation and information design. Encourage them to exchange phone numbers and emails, and expect a writer to keep the designer informed if they think an infographic will be appropriate, and be able to provide guidance on research for that infographic. They need to inform designers on the anticipated content of an article, even if it's still in progress. This will relieve pressure on illustrators who currently have to guess at the content of a story or wait for it to be posted on Dropbox. All this will really require is a quick courtesy email, although partnered brainstorming in the office can be done if writers would like to be more invested in the process. Additionally, accountability to a partner early in the reporting process has the additional benefit of discouraging procrastination and last-minute work. Consider front page banner advertisements below the fold at the bottom of the page or above the masthead. This premium color ad space makes more reader impressions, and when above the fold can make an impression from the carrier even on students who do not pick up the paper. Consequently, this ad space can be sold at a premium price. When ads do not run, this space would be eliminated or feature Lasso content. Proposed changes. Here are the design ideas I want to put forth for consideration. 1. A breathable, less dense, but longer 10-page format with a centerfold style interior. A simplified front page with an emphasis on snappy headlines and visual impact. A 2-page A&E color centerfold, allowing magazine-like spreads on special topics. It could function kind of like a mini tabloid insert, giving readers something special with each issue. A games and comics half page, with 1 half page devoted to classifieds or advertisements. More isolated captions and drop quotes. Captions and drop quotes are the most read, the first read, and sometimes the only read portion of a page. Our goal is to isolate them, make them bigger, and make them stand out more to better match the natural habits of our readers. These should be interesting and provide detailed information relating to the story, not filler. At TIPA, we were advised that photographers need to be responsible for their own photo captions to avoid confusion in the bland general captions that arise from it. Reduction of widows and orphans. I've researched this and work on it. I made some progress with font and gutter size and kerning, but not enough. My research tells me that one of 2 features, justification or hyphenation, must be changed. So for the cleanest looking page, I selected hyphenation, but used settings to control it. There will be no more than 3 hyphenations per article. They will occur no earlier than the 3rd letter, and will have at least 3 letters following them. This allows readers to anticipate words in their heads, reducing interruption of flow. In copy editing, I advise that we eliminate hyphens that occur at a jump or on the last line of a column. Magazine style design for major stories in isolated format. This gives our paper a contemporary feel and allows our designers and photographers to capture reader interest in creative and unconventional ways. Strictly standardized word counts for each page all the time. I think page editors and designers can agree. No more squished up pages. A style-compatible WordPress site with a template being okay. This site should use the same standardized elements as the paper to maintain branding consistency. It should be designed for easy and timely updates. I would like to plan for a collaborative design with Alex or a new media editor if they're the most experienced. The site should be linked with social media to drive traffic to the site. Information design. Headlines will be a standard size and font and will be preceded by a general subject kicker, followed by an introductory subhead. This strategy will improve our visual hierarchy, which has been a consistent challenge at the Lasso. This format also allows us to shorten headlines, making them punchier and more interesting, because the elaboration that we would usually try to put in the headline itself is now in the kicker and the subtitle. Jumps will now list the story short title in bold font. This clarifies what the reader is looking for. We don't want our readers having to do extra thinking to figure out where they are. Jump lines will now feature the same short title, again clarifying what the reader is looking for. For readers who jump around, the subtitle explains what the story is about, capturing interest and allowing readers to jump in from anywhere. The line beneath acts as a visual divider and organizer. Here are some options I came up with for drop quotes. As one of the most read elements, drop quotes should stand out. I would like to use a more interesting typeface for visual interest and variety. Quotes should capture attention through differing weight or style. For example, a lighter font will contrast with a bolder headline. A bolder font should differ in style and distinguish it from the headline, hence the italics on option 4. If a non-standard font is used, I will put it on the server so that anyone in the office can access and install it anytime. Identity and brand. The Lasso brand should be collegiate and classic yet dignified. We want to be taken seriously as a competitive news source while giving a firm nod to the fashionable and contemporary. Being too stodgy could alienate a young adult audience, while being too hip could undermine our credibility as a news source. Here are 2 options I came up with. I have more options if you want to see them, but I felt like these were the top 2. Option 1 is classic yet modern. My goal was to create a collegiate look. Option 2 is a customized black letter typeface that evokes the classic but has also been altered to make it thicker and rounder, giving it a sporty, less old-fashioned feel. Early mock-ups. These are just some quick examples of what some of these changes might look like in context. Here are 2 tabloid-style examples. This is a broadsheet example. Weather will be moved to a cleaned up page 2 that treats each campus as if it is equally important. Either logo can be used. Note, these are not final but are meant to be general examples of what can be done. I will fix problems as I make the templates if you like the direction. Bo thinks we should stick with broadsheet for advertising and operational purposes. I think we can make it interesting and have a little of what a tabloid brings to the table with a centerfold A&E and magazine-style design in isolated areas. It would also be much less time-consuming for me to adjust existing templates than to create a new tabloid from scratch. Well, that's it. Please get in touch with me if you have any comments or questions, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.